Namaste. I'm your friend tutor Rishika Khare and welcome to Calligraphy with Rishika. Today we have Nitya Khanna on board to tell us about interior designing, architecture and overall designings as well. Namaste, Didi. Welcome to the channel. Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you. So I'm Nitya. My name's Nitya. I've been practicing interior architecture for the last 8 years. I started working for an architecture company and in London, in the United Kingdom, where I also studied architecture. And when I came back, I decided to start my own practice. So I've been manufacturing furniture for the last 8 years. I've met so many people out of all different parts of India, of all different parts of the world. But one thing that is common, Rushika, with every client is that their home is so personal to them. So you have to not only be an architect, but you have to also be very emotional. You have to understand your client. You have to understand that they are investing in you with a very big part of their life, because on an average basis, a person only becomes a homeowner once. So, as much as it is a fun experience for architects, but what we as architects also have to realize is what a big responsibility the client has given to you. So, I have been working with so many people, and it's just been a beautiful experience.
I must say that's a very different insight of the profession because that is not something a common man can get over.
Yes. And I think that today, with the world evolving, Rushika, especially with जो हमारी जो आपकी generation है, आप लोग भी, you guys are young, aspiring and achievers. I think it's a beautiful interview that you have organized as well, and it's lovely talking and chatting to such young minds. But as we progress in life, we have to also understand that when we are practicing a career के साथ भी एक responsibility आती है. So just like how a doctor, they have that pressure that they're saving a life. Even in the field of interior architecture, especially residential homes and residential architectures, you're dealing with everybody. You're dealing with a husband, wife, you're dealing with a daughter, you're dealing with mother-in-law, father-in-law. तो आपको सबका सोचना पड़ता है कि पेरेंट्स का कमरा है तो पेरेंट्स को व्हाट वुड दे वुड लाइक अ बेड, और दे वुड लाइक देयर रूम टू बी वेरी friendly to them aging. They would like their bathroom to be friendly to or close to their bathrooms. Again, with the mother and father, जैसे आपके mom और dad है उनका bedroom, they would like a workstation where they can even work from home, or they would like a balcony where they can enjoy some quiet time. So they would like to invest in outdoor furniture where they both can sit, have a cup of tea from away from the hustle bustle of the family. Then, for example, the younger kids. So the younger kids also want something which is cool, which is unique, which they can show off to their friends. What gives them a sense of pride कि वो अपने friends को घर बुलाए, a place where they can feel safe, where they can relax with their friends. So, when you practice architecture, also, it is not just understanding the specifications or the details, which are very equally important, but you also have to understand कि आपका client कौन है, what is it you're designing for so many different age groups. Like a child can be from 5 years to 15 years. After 15 years child ki bhi requirements badal jati hai, then they become adults, then they want a room which will not change then before they get married, and then they finally change their rooms when the once before they get married, and then when they get married and they have a child, then the room again changes. So architecture is a very fulfilling job. It's got many layers to it, and if you look into the layers, you have a lot of fun.
So, without wasting any time, let's look into the layers and
Yes.
let's just start with talking about your experience. So, I mean, you have built multiple ventures like Home Couture, Collective, and Sadhyaska. What gap in market were you aiming to solve when you came up with these unique ideas?
So, Rishika, there were many kind of visions that I have. One was primarily that architecture is not a very professional field because it is very labor intensive. India is very cash intensive and it's very labor intensive. So, it was not a very professional field. So, what I wanted to do was I wanted to build a relationship with my client where I am accessible to the client. So, providing a very professional service to my client where I'm providing them everything. So, we make furniture, we make home decor, we even provide civil services, which is, building a home from scratch. So, that gives my client the flexibility कि उनको बहुत लोगों के साथ coordinate नहीं करना. वो एक जगह आते हैं and under that one roof they are able to complete their entire home in a very smooth process. Second is the accessibility. I believe, like I was explaining to you about the field of architecture, but I personally believe that for the client, it is a very emotional experience. They are investing a lot of their hard earned money. You have also seen how hard your mama works, how hard your father works. And they, when they're working or they're making their home, they're investing their hard earned money in furniture, in the home. So that accessibility towards their architect or the interior architect is very important, which a lot of firms are not able to give to the clientele. So when I started an interior architecture firm, मैंने खाली दो चीजें ऋषिका डिसाइड करी थी. एक थी that I want to bridge this unprofessionalism that is there in India where architects are not accept or the client cannot access their architect because architects also don't really know कि client को क्या जवाब दे अभी हम क्योंकि इतना delays वगैरह होते हैं. But I feel with effective communication and very good um, knowledge of the field of how to execute, you are able to come over these challenges as well. And lastly, and the most important thing that I wanted to bridge, Rushika, was the affordability. So furniture has become expensive in today's time, but that is only because we have to maintain the quality. But with home couture, we make home decor accessible to clients, which are very affordable. So something like a unique product which makes them and their house stand apart, but it's also accessible to them financially. Because in architecture, there are many phases. It's not like buying a garment where you go to a store or you go online and you just buy one garment which costs you 5,000 or 4,000 or 3,000. In architecture, there are many layers. So, पहले आपका civil work होएगा, then your furniture comes, then home decor comes. So, the client has already spent a lot of money. But at the same time, they want a complete home. They want to save money also. So, the third most important thing that I wanted to bridge was making furniture and home decor access to my client. And the accessibility only happens when it's affordable.
So, how do you balance running a design consultancy along with product based brands? Because
That is a very good question, Rishika. I think you have to be very passionate about what you're doing. You have to know, you have to be very, very committed to your job, to your client. You have to have a very good team that supports you. So I have a touch wood, a good team where if I am in a meeting, then they handle the production, and when I'm not in a meeting, then they handle. Then I will be in the factory manufacturing, or then vice versa. If they need to face the client, then they face the client. So it's very important for you to be very committed in your vision. ये नहीं हो सकता कि आप एक दिन उठो और बोलो आज तो मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, or today I have to go for a lunch, or today I want to do something else. So just like you, but you have to be very, very committed that today I have to, you have to set your target, your priority. This is what I have to achieve. You have to streamline your production, where you have your production targets of, स्कोप ऑफ वर्क जो आपकी फैक्ट्री में होते हैं कि आज हमको ये इतना प्रोडक्शन करना है, इतना हमको वुड की सीजनिंग वगैरह करनी है, सो दैट अलाउज मी टू बैलेंस माय टाइम इन द ऑफिस एंड डू माय कंसल्टेंसीज, एंड देन एट द सेम टाइम बी इन द फैक्ट्री एंड डू माय मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, बिकॉज बोथ आर इम्पोर्टेंट.
And how do you see uh this profession or this field being impacted with AI in the next 10 years?
So, Rashika, the world I feel has changed with AI. uh, I feel my generation or my age group, we didn't have an advantage with it. But you guys are blessed in a world where today, you think about it, कि कितना आपका smart and everything has just become faster and more easy and more efficient with AI coming. So AI is the future. Now, what you young minds and what we also have to adapt to is how do you use AI in today's world? So, where there was a time where we used to spend so much time in modeling and 3D renders and all of these things. Now, with Chat GPT and Google Gemini and Blender and all these AI software, it's happening within seconds. But with it happening in within seconds, it doesn't mean that we become lazy and we take advantage of AI doing our work. Then it also means that it is on us to challenge ourselves and to use it in a way where we are increasing our efficiency. If you are able to generate what you're looking for within seconds, then that also means that then you maximize your output. Then instead of generating जहाँ हम एक 3D render we used to take us, Rushika, 1 day to 3D kind of model. Then it used to take us half a day to put the materials, and then it takes about 3 to 4 hours on your rendering, your VR जो हमारी renders निकलती है. Now Chat GPT is doing that within seconds. So that also means that we have now that time, the bandwidth to make 3Ds, to make our clients understand 3Ds. Um, so that means that it is also on our responsibility to maximize that output, and provide better renderings to increase the quality and efficiency of your work. So I feel AI is great. It's great. It's a real helping hand, helping tool, but you have to decide for yourself that how you want it. It can work for you positively, it can work for you negatively also. For somebody who's lazy, they can just say कि अच्छा मेरा काम तो हो गया, अब मैं छुट्टी कर रहा हूँ. But somebody who has the drive and the motivation, they can really use it to the best of their ability to convert it into more clients, to kind of close larger areas within lesser time. So I feel for architects, it's really, really, really done a lot of streamlining in the industry.
So that's it with the first session. And
Great.
I would, I am very excited to move to the second session because it is my journey of me. And I have a tons
Okay.
of questions to ask about
Done.
home couture, about your time at university. So let's,
Great. Let's do this.
yes. So with starting of this session, what initially drew towards in you towards interior architecture and design?
Rishika, I was always a very creative student, and I must tell you this, I was not academically inclined. I was not academically inclined at all. So वो जो बच्चे होते हैं जो उनको लगता है कि अगर हम एक्सेल नहीं करते और हमें ये नहीं नहीं, all that is not true. You have to find what you're passionate about, and I was always very good at painting, and I was very fond of drawing and designing and all of that. Um, so I wanted to, like any other girl, be a fashion designer. But what I used to think at that time, Rushika, is that everybody was a fashion designer. So I said that my father was into construction and we used to design properties for people. So I thought to myself, I said, fashion designer to koi bhi ban sakta hai. A lot of the fashion designers today have not even done degrees. So I said, why not interior designers? Because interior designers are something which is more niche. You get to, and then there's not a lot of competition. So I thought that it will be a unique industry where I can design, build homes, which was very special. Um, and I just thought it was something which was where a lot of people were not doing it.
And once you had the idea, everything, you went to Arts University.
Bournemouth University, yes.
Yes. So what was
Yes.
how was your time there, and how did it shape your design thinking?
So, Rushika, I was just 18 years old. I was a baby and I went to a foreign country. And suddenly I was the only Indian in a handful of British students. So at one state, I was coming out of my comfort zone, but I didn't realize in how many ways it shaped me. It made me very independent in my thinking. It made me, there was no spoon feeding. You had to kind of get into the real this thing. But where the university experience, Rushika, was great. That was not one thing that you learned. It developed your personality. It made you more confident. You could go and you had to have conversations with people. If you were lost, you had to find your way. There was no bhaiya humko ghar jana hai, nothing. You had to if I for me, Rushika, I used to find the London tubes very daunting. I used to feel that I'll get lost.
Hmm.
But I did it. I used to ask people, where do you go? I used to ask for directions, interacting with so many people walking. But I will add, Rushika, that there is nothing like work experience where university teaches you a lot of things. You have a great, it develops your design thinking. बट जो चीज आप काम करते हुए सीखते हो वो आपको कोई यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं सिखाती, कोई स्कूल नहीं सिखा सकता.
So when you started out, what challenge
Mhm.
did you face breaking into this industry?
So, Rishika, life is full of challenges. And a lot of people presume that when you are working for yourself and you're self employed, it's very easy. But actually, it is tougher because you have to learn how to lead a team. You have to learn. The biggest challenge that I faced was client conversion. How do you present yourself in a professional way that you make someone believe in you,
Hmm.
for them to trust you with their home, or for them to trust you with an order? Second was to manage. For me, it was definitely managing a factory, managing labor. When we talk about labor, they're not educated. They're not. It's not a white collar job, so it is financially and emotionally both. It is an investment where you're managing a team. Today, I can tell you, in 8 years, not one of my labor has left me. The same labor I had when I started my career, I even have them today. So these are things that your university does not teach you, your education does not teach you. These are things that you have to learn yourself. Life teaches you, and through the course of the journey of the career, every industry, Rishika, has its own kind of norms. How you have to adapt to those norms as well. One biggest challenge in the field of architecture is that how do you get clients to pay you?
Hmm.
Because with a garment or with any other industry, you take the payment upon delivery. but ours was a different industry because ours was कि उसमें काम होता जाता है. So yes, there were many times where a client did not pay us, but then how did we overcome that? So now we've made our payment terms stronger. We have become smarter. We don't dispatch any furniture without 100% payment. We don't get into personal. I don't personally work with anybody who is in a personal association with me, because those are the same people who, your relationships get affected. So you have to, there were many challenges. It's a very tough job to have. You have to be very dedicated and very motivated.
And how did the idea of Home Couture Collective first come into your life?
First, it came to me, Rushika, because I had a shipment
Hmm.
in which a table had to go, but the client rejected the table.
Hmm.
So it was one of my first or second orders in my career. And I was just too new in the industry. So I had this one table and I would look at it and I used to feel very bad, Rushika, when I used to see the table. I used to say, what should I do with this table? So I came up with this idea that I'll sell it online. But I did not have the funds, I did not have the financial accessibility to sell it. So what I did was I made a page on Instagram,
Hmm.
and I was also a designer. So I said, now I can't sell one table. So what am I supposed to do? So I started designing wall art
Hmm.
and coasters, because coasters were very financially easy to make.
Hmm.
All you had to do was cut stone, and I used to have stone lying around. So I used to cut stone and I used to put a brass edging on it. And I did very well. So then the second part of it came when I said, okay, what do I name this? So I said I wanted something collective or something the house of. So I thought to myself, Rishika, that when people, get married, they always go to couture. So they go to designers because they're looking for couture. But where was the couture for homes? If people wanted to buy designer home decor, where was the couture? Why is couture only associated to garments? So I kept my brand name the Home Couture, which was couture for homes. So if you see Home Couture and you see my products, there it's a very luxurious product, Rishika.
Hmm.
So it was basically because I wanted to create couture for homes that is affordable.
So you mentioned they are very
And
luxury.
then I must tell you, I sold that table.
So you mentioned about luxury items and all. So what goes into creating a luxury home decor brand that is both aesthetic
Rishika, your
and
heart
functional?
goes, your soul goes, your everything goes, because you see, luxury is very subjective, Rishika. What is luxury can be luxury for me, but it does not have to be luxurious for you. But the common denominator in something luxurious is always the finishing of the product. That has to be immaculate. And for that to be immaculate, you have to be personally involved in manufacturing the product. बिकॉज अगर आप सोचो आपकी एक विजन है और आप उस विजन को क्रिएट नहीं करो और आप किसी और को बोल दो करने को, then that vision will go down the rail, no, somewhere. So you have to work towards creating that product and you have to work on it very closely. So when we have a design or an idea, we sketch it. We first put it on paper. Then we have to make a technical drawing of it. Why? Because if I'm making a glass for Rushika, I cannot make it as per my design. Na? It has to be comfortable for Rushika to hold, to dine, to wine. So then we have to make it according to technical standards. And then after that, we get into sampling and prototyping. Once we make a sample, then we see the finishing of the product and then we start manufacturing it. Once we've manufactured the product, Rushika, then comes the marketing of the product, because if you don't market the product well, then also the product can fail. So
So
it is a full journey.
so thank you for sharing your journey today with all of us. As we end,
Thank you.
what advice would you give to the young designers or entrepreneurs who want to enter this space?
I think today I will tell you that you guys are very lucky. You're very fortunate. You have so many things. हमारे ज़माने में खाली Adobe package होता था, एक AutoCAD होता था और एक 3ds Max होता था. And these were very tough, Rushika, very, very tough softwares. It was not easy to get a hang of them. Today you have softwares, you have AI supporting you. The world is your oyster. So push yourself, expose yourself to uncomfortable situations which can open your horizons. Design, but when you design, try and also achieve that design, because if you're not able to make a design, then there's no point of you making that design. अगर आपको बनाना ही नहीं आता उस प्रोडक्ट का, तो फिर डिजाइनिंग का कोई फायदा नहीं है, right? And I would say that push yourself, go out there, talk to people, make mistakes, learn, um, and just do it. What is meant to be will always happen. Nobody can take away hard work and focus and determination from you. But this is a field for those young kids who want to become architects. You have to be very, very committed to the field, because it is not an easy field.
So that's the end of the questionnaire. Is there any closing remarks you would want to share?
I think, Rishika, it was great talking to you. And you are an example of what young, dynamic kids of India today are. I think it's great that you can call me, you can have a conversation with me, you can question me and interview me today. So the world is limitless for me, and I'm just so looking forward to seeing what all you achieve in life.
Thank you so much. That really means
Thank you.
a lot to me on a very personal note. So, thanks
Yes.
so much for connecting.
And I mean it with all my heart.
Thank you so much. This was a really big opportunity for me to interview you, and you took out time out of your busy schedule.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Anytime. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. This is your friend
Bye bye.
Tarika signing off. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye bye.
Bye bye.